Hi everyone, it is Friday 3rd of September. So today we're going to look at multiplying by 10 and multiplying by 100 and 1000. And we've looked at multiplying by 10 and 100 earlier this week. So we're going to look at multiplying by 1000 as well. And if you find this a little bit too tricky for you, don't worry, you can just go as far as you can in terms of 10 and 100. We will be looking at this later next week whenever we return to school. So, things I'm looking for, I want you to be able to understand place value, and that means how much each digit is worth, and we've worked on that as well this week. And I want you to be able to use an efficient calculation method, and that just simply means that you choose a simple, quick, effective method of calculating your answers, okay? So it's not something that's too long or too complicated, involves a lot of working out or writing down, so something quick and efficient. Okay, so now we're going to look at some mental maths tasks, very similar to what we do every day in school. Easy tasks just to get your brain warmed up. So I want you to pause the video now because I want you to complete the tasks on your own. Okay, so hopefully you'll have completed these tasks. I'm going to just go through the answers now. So maybe for the first one you used a written calculation method. So 1, 2, 3 times 4. So 4 3s are 12, put down your 2, carry your 1, 4 2s are 8, plus the other 10 is 9, and 4 1s are 4, so 492. Next one, very simple, we have lots of very similar questions to this earlier this week, so that's just simply 3 quarters, okay, so it would be 1 quarter, then 2 quarters, then 3 quarters. Okay, in a shop, 3 apples cost the same as 2 bananas. It says 1 banana costs 57p, so we need to work out the cost of 2 bananas. So 2 57s, 2 50s are 100, plus your double 7, so that's £1.17 or 117p. And then how much does 1 apple cost? So we need to divide this amount by 3. So 3 into 11 doesn't go, 3 into 1 doesn't go, 3 into 11 goes 3 times, remainder 2, 3 into 27 goes 9. So your answer is 39p, so each apple is 39p. The next question, hopefully you'll find this one easy because of the work we looked at earlier in the week. So circle the numbers 10 times greater than 840, so 840, and you know when you multiply by 10 you add on a 0. So which number is the same as mine? This one here. So we're going to start off with multiplying by 10, and there's an example at the top. Now this all the examples here I'm going to go through with you, and I'm going to model the completion of them, and then you will have some examples to complete independently. So the first one, 33 times 10. So we talked about using an efficient method. This would not be an efficient method, actually writing out the sum for each of these here. 33 times 10, okay? That's not an efficient method. You should be able to complete these questions mentally, okay, and work out strategies in order to how to do them quickly and effectively. So 33 times 10, if I think I'm making the number 33 10 times bigger, so the number 30, if I make that 10 times bigger, it becomes 300, and if I make the 3 10 times bigger, it becomes 30, and I just need to combine them, so 330. So your answer would be 330, okay? Now, you could be able to complete questions, I guess, without doing any working out. That's great. I just want to model and show you how you can do them and how to think about completing them mentally. So the first one is 8 times 10, okay? You would know from your 10 times tables that 8 times 10 is 80, okay? That's a fairly straightforward one. 26 times 10, so if I use the same strategy as I used above, so 10 20s is 200, 10 6s is 60. Combine the two numbers together, 260. The next one, if I make 400, if I make it 10 times bigger, it's going to give me 4,000. Okay, and if I make the 80 10 times bigger, it's going to give me 800. I just need to combine both numbers, 4,800. Okay, 988, if I make the 900 10 times bigger, it's going to give me 9,000. And if I make the 88 10 times bigger, it's going to give me 9,800 Okay, now there's a connection between each of the answers. So when you're multiplying by 10, look at the connection here. So 8 has turned into 80, okay? 26 has turned into 260. 480 has turned into 4,800. And 988 has turned into 9,880. So in each of the answers, a 0 has been added at the end to show that the number has been made 10 times bigger. Okay, I want you to have a go at the questions that are coming up next, and so you can write your answers in your jotter. Okay, so now I have modelled a set of questions. I want you to complete these questions on your own, so I want you to pause the video now before I go through the answers. Okay, so the first one, 15 times 10 is 150. Okay, remember that adding the 0 on because you made the number 10 times bigger. 23 times 10 becomes 230. It's 10 20s are 200, 10 3s are 30. 10 444s is 4,440. Okay, the 0 at the end being the difference and showing that the number is 10 times bigger. 986 times 10, well, 10 900s is 9,000. 10 80s is 800, 10 6s is 60. So if you combine all of that together, you get 9,860. And again, you can see the connection, the 0 at the end, to signify the number has been made 10 times bigger. Now, this concept is a little bit more tricky because it is multiplying decimals by 10, okay? So there's an example at the top here. It says, multiply the number 1.9 by 10. So number 1.9 is 1 unit and 9 tenths, okay? So if I make this number 10 times bigger, I am moving the digits one place to the left. Okay, so the 9 would now be in the units column because I've made that 9 tenths 10 times bigger, and I'll move the 1 unit here over into the tens column, which shows that this number multiplied by 10 is now 19. Okay, so that is how you complete questions like that. Now, it may be useful to you to write something like this out, like this grid here, the place value grid. You don't need to write the words like thousands, hundreds. Just use the short headings, the top TH for thousands, H for hundreds, and so on, okay? Now, I'm just going to model the completion of the rest of these questions. So 8.1 times 10. So if I put 8.1 down, so 8 is 8 units, and then you've got 1 tenth, and move everything over to the left, which means the 8 would now go over here in the tens, and the 1 in the tenths would now go over in the units. So the answer to this question would be 81. Okay, 26.5. If I move everything over one place to the left, the answer would be 265. Okay, and you can see the decimal point then has been removed. 0.2 times 10, so I'll model this once. 0.2 times 10, so you don't have any units and you've got 2 tenths. So if I move the numbers over to the left hand side, you've got 2 and nothing here, so your answer is 2. So 10 times 0.2 is 2. Then 10 times 0.3, so I'll give myself some space to write down an answer for this. So 10 times 0.3, 0.03, so you've got no units, you've got no tenths, and you've got 3 hundredths. Well, I just need to move this 3 one place to the left to signify that it's been made 10 times bigger. So my answer is going to be 0.0. Nearly made a mistake there. So my answer is going to be 0.3, okay? Because the tenths here has been moved one place to the left. Now, I want you to complete the 4 questions displayed in your jotters, okay? Again, I'll emphasize, if you need to draw something out like this here, you can on your page. And good luck with it. If you want to pause the video now, because I'm going to go through the answers. Okay, so the first one is 7.1 times 10. If I was making that number 10 times bigger, it would be 71, okay? Because everything is being moved one place to the left. 87.5 times 10 would be 875, again, because all the digits are being moved one place to the left. 0.9 times 10 is 9. And 0.08 times 10. I'll model this one because I think it's, they're trickier. So you've no units, you've no tenths, and you've 800ths. So this 8 would go one place to the left, decimal point, but you would still have the 0 here because this number is still less than the number 1. Okay, again, I'm going to model the completion of these questions before you have a chance to have a go at some of them on your own coming up later. So this is multiplying by 100 now, okay? So earlier on we noticed the connection when we multiplied anything by 10, for example 8 by 10, we had a 0 at the end, okay? So this time when you're multiplying anything by 100, you're making the numbers 100 times bigger. So for example, if I start with that the digit 1 here, so that it represents a 10, so 100 times 10 is 1000. And if I made the 7 100 times bigger, it's going to be 700. And I just need to combine both numbers together, 1700. Okay, and again, I'm doing a lot of writing out just to model, but you would not have to do this. You could have a go at these mentally. So the first one is 9 times 100. So 9 100s. That's fairly straightforward. 900. Then we've got 33 times 100. And so if I make the 30 100 times bigger, it becomes 3000. And then I make the 3 100 times bigger, it becomes 300. So that answer is 3300. Now, already you may have noticed a connection. Okay, so you're multiplying by 100. Look at the 9. It has now become 900. So instead of when we were multiplying by 10, there was a 0 added towards the end. This time there are 2 zeros, okay? And again, 2 zeros on the end because the number has been made 100 times bigger. Okay, so I'm sure you'll guess what's going to happen to 444. It is going to become 44,400. Okay, and the next one is going to be 98600. Hey, oops, I put that in the wrong place. So it is actually 98,600. Okay, so next slide you're going to go and complete some of these questions on your own. So just remember when you're doing this, you don't need to write these out as a sum, okay? You can see that they can be completed fairly quickly mentally, and just remembering that connection between adding on a 0 if you're multiplying by 10, adding on 2 zeros if you're multiplying by 100. So I want you to pause the video now and to have a go at these questions in your jotter. Okay, right, so the answers to these questions now then. So 29 times 100 is going to be 2,900. You can see 2 zeros there. 42 times 100 is going to be 4,200. 467 is going to be 46700. So 46,700. 145 times 100 is going to be 145. And your 2 zeros at the end signify it's been multiplied by 100, so 14,500. Okay, so now we're going to multiply decimals by 100, and again this is a little bit more difficult, so I modelled the completion of these questions. So 7.1 times 100, so 7.1 is 7 units and 1/10, okay, and now I make this 100 times bigger. I'm moving the digits 2 places to the left now, so the 1 now ends in the tens column. The 7 is in the hundreds column, so it's 700s. So 700s and 10, so I need to make sure to put the 0 in here. So my answer is 710. Okay. The next one is 87.5 times 100. So 87.5 is 8 tens, 7 units, and 5/10. And again, everything moves over 2 places to the left. So the 5 now is in 5/10s. The 7 is in the hundreds. And the 8 is in the thousands. So it's 8,750. So 8,750. You can see it's really important to remember to write down a 0 when you're writing that out, because it's 8,750. But if you write down 875, you've only multiplied it by 10. So 0.9 times 100. So you have no units and you have 9/10 times 100. So you're moving everything over 2 places to the left. It becomes 9/10s, 0 units, 90. 0.01 times 100. Okay, give myself some room here. So 0.01. So you have no units, you have no tenths, and you have 100, and you move everything over 2 places to the left, means that you have 1 unit. Okay, your answer is 1. When you think about that, you're multiplying 1/100th of 1 by 100, so you're bringing it up to 1. Okay, the next slide will be some questions that I want you to complete on your own. Okay, if you want to pause the video now before I go through these questions, so you can have a go at these in your jotter. Okay, so 3.8 times 100 is going to be 380. 197 times 100 is going to, or 19.7 is going to be 1,970. 2.76 times 100 is going to be 276. So if you move the decimal point, if you think about these as well, if you move your decimal point over 2 places, 1, 2, 276, 0.03, your answer is going to be 3. Now maybe you used a chart like this to help you, or maybe you moved the decimal point over places like so on as well. It's a different strategy. Okay, so now we have some multiplying by 1,000 questions, okay? So we seen the connection earlier that when we were multiplying by 10, for example, 8 times 10 is 80. 8 times 100 is 800, and 8 times 1,000 is going to be 8,000, okay? So in the first example, when you're multiplying by 10, there was 1 0 at the end of the number. Multiplying by 100, 2 zeros. Multiplying by 1,000, 3 zeros, okay? So the next one, 49 times 1,000, okay? And if I remember what I did up here, so I added 3 zeros at the end. 1, 2, 3, so 4, because I'm making the number 1,000 times bigger. 49,000 is the number. 467 times 1,000 means you've got 467,000. Okay. 127 times 1,000 is 127,000. Okay. So you see the connection. You're making the number 1,000 times bigger, and when you do that, okay, you are, and I've just noticed a mistake with the first one, I haven't added in. So when you're making a number 1,000 times bigger, you need to make sure that you've got 3 zeros on the end of each number. Okay. Okay, so I want you to have a go at these questions on your own. So if you want to pause the video now. So 7 times 1,000 is 7,000. 25 1,000s is 25,000. 234 times 1,000 is 234,000. And 187 times 1,000 is 187,000. You see each of the numbers, because you're multiplying by 1,000, has 3 zeros at the end. So again, multiplying decimals by 1000 is quite tricky. So I'll demonstrate some examples here before you have some a go at some on your own. So 2.4 times 1000. So 2.4 is 2 units and 4 tenths. So you're moving everything over 3 places to the left. So 1, 2, 3. So this 4 tenths becomes 4 hundredths. And the 2, 1, 2, 3, it becomes 2000. And you have 0 tens, 0 units. So you have 2000s and 400s, 2400. Okay. The next one, 34.1 times 1000. So you've got 3 tens, you've got 4 units, and you've got 1 tenth. And if you're moving everything over 3 places, 1, 2, 3, the 1 becomes 100. The 4 becomes 4000. And the 3, actually I haven't got a column for it, the 3 is 3 tens of thousands. And you've got 0, 0. So your number becomes 34,100. Okay. Then 0.8 times 1000. So 0.8, you have 0 units, 8 tenths. So move everything over 3 places. 1, 2, 3. So 8 becomes 800, and you've 0 tens, 0 units, 800. Okay, then the 0.04 times 1000 is 0.4 times 1000. Everything moves over 3 places to the left. So 1, 2, 3, and this becomes 400. Now you can see, even though we were multiplying by 1000, we didn't add 3 zeros on to each of the numbers, and that's because some of these numbers are not whole numbers. Okay. And we've decimal numbers as well. For example, that's not a whole number, it's a decimal number, another decimal number. Okay, so we haven't added 3 zeros on, in fact, to any of them. Okay, so this is the last set of questions that I want you to complete on your own. And I do think the place value chart is quite useful in helping you, or maybe you'll know to move the decimal points over to the right if you're multiplying by 1000. Okay, you know, so many move over 3 different places. Or if you're using this chart here, you'll be moving it over to the left. So I want you to have a go at these questions and pause the video now. So 2.1 times 1000 is going to be 2100. 23.8. So if you model it here, 23.8. So each number is going to go over 3 places. 1, 2, 3. So you're going to have 800s. 3 is going to go in here, and the 2 is going to go in here. So it's going to be 20,000, 3,800. Okay. 0.1 times 1000. So you've got moving everything over 3 places. So your 1 would go 1, 2, 3, and it'd be 100. And the last one, 0.07 times 1000. So you've no units, you've no tenths, and you've 700s times 1000, moving everything over 3 places. 1, 2, 3. It's going to be 7 tens, which is 70. Okay, this is a really good challenge to finish off. So which number should go into the empty triangle? You might figure this out really quickly, or it might take you a long time. Okay, so I don't want to give too much away, but obviously all the numbers are connected around the triangle, and they're connected in some way to the number inside the triangle. So think of your 4 operations: multiplication, division, addition, subtraction. They will help you to figure out the answer. It is quite tricky, so good luck.